Former WWE superstar Adam Copeland cuts a fiery pro-AEW promo last night on Dynamite following a week of what he described as negative BS following the explosive CM Punk interview with Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour. We also saw the Young Bucks shout out Jack Perry, of course, with their own involvement with CM Punk during his tenure in All Elite Wrestling last night on Dynamite. Plus, Dax Harwood cut a pro-AEW promo once the television tapings had concluded. Trent Beretta turns his back and attacks Orange Cassidy, turning heel in the process last night on Dynamite. Swerve Strickland signs the contract for the AEW World Championship match at AEW Dynasty in his own blood. Mercedes Moné will challenge for the TBS Championship at Double or Nothing. Thunder Rosa will challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship at AEW Dynasty. Chris Jericho and Hook will team up once again on AEW Collision this week. Plus, the replacement for Dasha Corrette for AEW Collision's ring announcer has been revealed. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about this promo from Adam Copeland last night on AEW Dynamite on TBS that certainly has got the world talking. Now, AEW TNT champion Adam Copeland cut an impassioned promo to open AEW Dynamite, touting the company as the best place to be in professional wrestling. Copeland said that, quote, a lot of negative BS had been, quote, spewed over the week, seemingly referencing current WWE superstar CM Punk's Monday appearance on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, where he did not mince words about his distaste for his former company and its president Tony Khan. Copeland cut the promo in the middle of the ring and said he didn't bring out his championship because he came out as himself. He said AEW is where he wants to end his career because there are so many stars in the locker room he hasn't wrestled yet. Copeland said he's having the most fun in AEW that he's ever had in his wrestling career, and he celebrates the men who started the company, including the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, two-time WWE WrestleMania main eventer Cody Rhodes, and Tony Khan. Copeland went on to say that the company has given more people the opportunity to, quote, do what they love for a living, end quote, and that there are reasons why Okada, Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, and himself went to All Elite Wrestling. Now, the promo comes 2 days after the first ever mass release of talent from their contracts in AEW since the company's inception back in 2019. On Monday, 10 AEW stars were released from their contracts, including Stu Grayson, Dasha Corrette, which we'll talk about later on, Anthony Henry, Slim J, and many others. So, what are your thoughts on what Adam Copeland said last night when it comes to the promo backing AEW? Was it expected? Was it unneeded? Was it unnecessary? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, one name that was certainly brought up in CM Punk's interview on Monday with Ariel Helwani was Jack Perry, as well as Matthew and Nicholas Jackson of the Young Bucks, people that seemingly CM Punk had his issues with during his time in AEW, and the Young Bucks have seemingly given a shout out to Jack Perry. Now, the April 3rd episode of Dynamite saw the Young Bucks face off against the Best Friends in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. However, fans caught an interesting comment during their entrance to the ring. While walking down the ramp, Matthew Jackson said, quote, yo, Scapegoat, I love your work, and then winked. This appears to be a direct reference to AEW/New Japan Pro Wrestling star Jack Perry, who has dubbed himself, quote, the Scapegoat as of late. Perry has not appeared for AEW since AEW All In August. Right after his pre-show match against Hook, Perry reportedly had a backstage altercation with CM Punk that resulted in Perry getting suspended, while Punk was ultimately terminated from All Elite Wrestling. Since then, Perry has only competed for New Japan Pro Wrestling as a member of House of Torture. It remains to be seen when the former AEW World Tag Team Champion and FTW Champion will return to AEW. So, what do you make of that shout out as well? And when it comes to the pro AEW promos, it didn't just happen on television, it actually happened off camera as well, as Dax Harwood cut this promo once the television tapings had concluded last night.
With it being someone's dream, with it being all of our dreams, there's always going to be, so you probably know this, in your everyday life, there's going to be somebody who tries to strip it down, strip it from you, take it away from you, take your joy away. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. I don't care if they're in real life. I don't care if it's on fake life, social media. I don't care if it's in another company. Don't let anybody strip you of what you love, what you're passionate about, what you wake up for every single day. professional wrestling, and that's it. That's all I got. And AEW affords me that luxury. AEW affords me that life. And now, not only does AEW afford me that life, they afford me to do it with my best friends in front of all you people.
But we got some tequila in the back waiting for us. And there's a hard curfew and there's 2 more matches, so come on.
So what do you make of what Dax Harwood said in his promo? What do you make of what Adam Copeland said in his promo? What do you make of the Young Bucks shouting out Jack Perry last night? Let me know your reaction to it in the comment section below. Now, speaking of tag team, speaking of the Young Bucks, we got a heel turn last night on AEW Dynamite because Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta are no longer best friends. With Chuck Taylor and Beretta's mother standing ringside, the Young Bucks defeated Cassidy and Beretta to secure their spot in the finals of the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament at the Dynasty pay-per-view on Wednesday's edition of Dynamite. Mac Jackson rolled up Beretta in the closing moments to earn the victory. Following the match, Cassidy, Beretta and Taylor looked to hug one another in their signature fashion, but before they could, Beretta nailed Cassidy with a running knee strike as a stunned Taylor and Sue watched on. Beretta then breezed past his mother and made his way to the back with a look of frustration and anger plastered across his face. Of course, Cassidy's friendship with Taylor and Beretta dates all the way back to 2019, the early days of AEW, with the trio going on to compete in various matches together, including the tournament to crown the first ever AEW World Trios champions. Beretta, however, has been showing signs of strain for months, and he finally snapped on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, the Bucks win officially gives them a match at AEW Dynasty, where they will face the winner of FTR vs Top Flight on Saturday's AEW Collision, with the tag team titles on the line at the new pay-per-view. The bouts were vacated after one half of the reigning champion Sting retired following he and Darby Allin's final successful defense at AEW Revolution against the AEW EVPs back in March. The match was against the Bucks, who will now get another opportunity to become the first ever 3-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. The only other team with 2 tag team title reigns is FTR, who the Bucks also came up short against at Wembley Stadium back in August when they challenged for the titles at AEW All In. Now, Swerve Strickland, he's going to be getting a shot at the AEW World Championship at AEW Dynasty, and last night he got attacked, but he still put pen to paper on the championship contract. The streak of professional wrestling contract signings ending in violence is alive and well after Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland made their AEW World Championship title match at AEW Dynasty official last night on Dynamite. Strickland took things to the next level, signing the contract in his own blood after a pummeling at the hands of the Samoan submission machine. The champion wasted no time in the segment, sitting at the table and signing the contract with no hesitation, while Strickland paced about to the annoyance of Tony Schiavone. After Joe promised Strickland's ultimate demise, professing to scar Swerve as though he left Diddy's party too late, Strickland assured him he was ready for this moment he's been seeking for his whole life. Ultimately, Swerve flipped a switch and went after Joe with a chain, but the champion was able to seize the weapon from Strickland and blast him with it, drawing blood. Joe exited the ring while Strickland lay bleeding, but turned his attention back towards his challenger upon hearing laughter on the microphone. A maniacal, smiling Strickland, certainly no stranger to blood, as evidenced by his infamous Texas death match with Hangman Adam Page at Full Gear last year, then promised Joe he'd be taking his championship from him at Dynasty before signing the contract in blood, only to eat a uranagi through the table from Joe upon his return to the ring to close the show. Now, speaking of title matches, Mercedes Moné is set for a title match, but not at Dynasty, at Double or Nothing. The new CEO of AEW has officially set her sights on her first target, the TBS Championship. Interrupting Stokely Hathaway's follow-up to a promo by Willow Nightingale on AEW Dynamite, Mercedes Moné took to the stage to tell Nightingale that while she was looking forward to her challenge toward Julia Hart at Dynasty, come Double or Nothing in Las Vegas next month, Moné's got next because in Vegas, money changes everything. Other than that, Moné didn't say much, but what she did say was enough to visibly steal the light from Nightingale's eyes after a promo that had the Worcester, Massachusetts crowd roaring in approval several times over. Moné's presence alone outshined Nightingale's recollection of the city as home away from home, where she figured out just who she was. The timing of Moné's appearance showed deliberate intent as well, as her CEO theme song hit just as Hathaway was singing Nightingale's praises for her performances week after week. Hart has held the TBS title since winning it in a three-way match at AEW Full Gear in November. She and Monet have never wrestled each other before. While Monet hasn't had the opportunity to make her impact in ring in AEW just yet, she now has a roadmap towards her first big prize. Speaking of women's title, the women's title match at AEW Dynasty has been confirmed. Thunder Rosa kept her number one spot in the AEW Women's Division locked in with a victory over Mariah May, AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm's protege on Dynamite. Rosa will now go on to challenge Storm at Dynasty on April 21st in St. Louis, Missouri. May told Storm on Saturday's episode of AEW Collision that she would take on Rosa. While the match saw the first and second ranked women in the company do battle, it wasn't explicitly stated that the winner would challenge Storm. Rosa and May had a back and forth battle with Storm on commentary. Rosa was able to counter Mayday, hitting a backstabber and then the Tijuana bomb for the win. Following her victory, Rosa challenged Storm, attempting to get in her face before being held back by a referee. A graphic for Dynasty announcing the match then appeared on screen. Rosa has been racking up victories on both Dynamite and Collision, with her most recent singles victory coming on the latter against Lady Frost. Her latest singles victory on Dynamite came against Red Velvet. Storm, a three-time champion, has held the belt for over 137 days. She defeated Hikaru Shida at Full Gear to regain the title. Now, Chris Jericho and Hook will be teaming up once again as Lion Hook rejoins forces this weekend on AEW Collision. Chris Jericho and Hook storyline will continue on Saturday's AEW Collision as the pair team up for a tag team match. After Jericho called Hook out for a discussion on Wednesday's Dynamite, the two agreed to team up on this week's Collision episode. In a backstage promo segment later on Dynamite, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty of Shane Taylor Enterprises responded by accepting the match against Jericho and Hook. In another new match set for Saturday's episode, Penta El Zero Miedo will tune up for his TNT title shot with a bout against Commander. Penta will challenge Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship on the Wednesday, April 10 edition of Dynamite. We're also going to be getting that AEW Tag Team Title Tournament match involving FTR as well. Finally, speaking of Collision, we now know who's going to be, at least for this week, the replacement for the recently released Dasha Corrette. On Monday, April 1st, AEW released Jose the Assistant, Anthony Henry, Dasha Gonzalez, Brent Tate, Brandon Tate, Jorah Joel, Gravity, Stu Grayson, Parker Boudreaux, and Slim J. Despite being a non-wrestler, Dasha was actually the most regularly featured of those, being the weekly ring announcer for AEW Collision. That obviously is no longer the case, and it looks like we now know her replacement. AEW taped the next episode of Collision after Dynamite last night, and on ring announcing duty for Collision was Ring of Honor's Bobby Cruz. Obviously, it's only the first week without Dasha, but it seems like Cruz will be the Collision ring announcer moving forward. Now, this particular episode of Collision will air on Saturday, April 6th, but it's going to be at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, meaning WrestleMania 40 Night 1 likely will have finished before Collision begins. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.